All right, folks, today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, and I'm going to do a little video here on sanding the 61 using a dry guide coat. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube that show how to do this or show the purpose, but I just want to show, my purpose on this. So what I use is a product. This time it's by Mirka dry guide coat. It's basically like, and I did this on the 64. I believe I did a video, but it's been about a year ago. It's basically like can relate it to like a forensic dust that they dust for fingerprints. Did a little spot here, and as you can see, yeah, focus in. It fills in all the imperfections of the primer or of the body work. It's going to show low and high spots. So what I do, I mean, there's some videos out there. Let me get refocused here. That you can use this dry or wet. You can use rattle can spray paint as a guide coat. You cannot use guide coat, but if you really want the panel straight and you want that really deep gloss look, so your paint looks like it's 5 or 10 feet deep, you really need to use the guide coat, because it's going to take away, it's going to help you erase all the imperfections in the bodywork or imperfections in the way the primer laid out, and it's going to make sure that you have the whole car sanded and didn't miss any spots. So I'm going to be doing this with 180 grit. I got a whole roll. I got this a while back. Don't even waste your time going to AutoZone, O'Reilly, Advanced, Napa, and buying those sheets. Pack of 5 sheets for $8 or whatever. That's a complete ripoff. You're best to go to a local auto body supply like PPG store, DuPont, anything like that. Or even better is to order it online, either through eBay or Amazon. If you can wait, the 3 or 4 or 5 days for it to arrive, it's going to end up cheaper. That roll of 180 is going to be enough to do this entire car. Probably 2 cars, maybe 3. It's a lot of paper. So I have an assortment of blocks here. This is, I believe, 24 inch. I have a longer one, but for this car, I'm going to be doing, maybe on the roof I'll go longer. Just a regular hand block. I like this blue hand block because it has these circles that give like a little cutting edge on every circle. So it's like you have, what's that, 3 and... See, you got about 20 different cutting edges on this block. You can also use the backside of it flat as a squeegee if you're wet sanding to wipe your water off. Got a round block here. Round block's going to be good for this type of contour right here. And then just another, foot long block or whatever that is. I have more blocks, but this is what I'm going to be using. So what you do is you basically take the guide coat, shake it up. Like I say, it's a powder. And you just smear it on the car. I like to put it on really heavy. I mean, this might be like way heavy considered compared to other videos. Just to show you what it is. See all the imperfections of the way the primer laid out? Now if that guide coat wasn't there, you don't see it over here naturally. Well, the camera's not going to pick it up. But from here, it feels smooth. But once you put the guide coat on it, it's gonna tell you the truth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this whole car, not today, but over the next few days, I'm going to do this whole car 180 grit. See what I got, smear some filler if I need be, reprime it at least 2 more times, probably do another 80 grit, and then go with a 2K primer, and then do the guide coat with the 400 grit. Guide coat every time. You can guide coat your filler. Anything that you're sanding, you can guide coat. That's a good habit to get into, and it really tells you the truth on how straight the car is, or any areas that you might have missed sanding. Because if you're sanding with 400 and you don't guide coat, there's going to be some areas that you might miss that is going to look like that, and then you spray base coat on top of that, and that your base coat isn't going to hide that, and you spray clear on top of that, and that's going to amplify or magnify that primer or the way that base coat laid on top of that primer, and that results in a finish that is not a deep, mile-long finish. So, like I say, I ain't no expert. I do this on the side after work, but this works for me. Guide coat is kind of like a crutch for anybody. It's a good way to sand. So I'm gonna go ahead and guide coat this whole car, and I'll bring y'all back once it's covered up. All right, so I got this quarter panel in the guide coat. I think I'm gonna do it one panel at a time. So I'm gonna knock this quarter panel out here today. Got the rocker. So like I say, the guide coat will show you all the imperfections. There's one, and you see the texture of the primer. It's going to help you eliminate. There's another. There's another. Another. This is where something's going on. There's some filler down here that somebody gouged into, but you can see. So we got the whole thing. The stuff is messy. Like I say, it gets on the floor. Once it gets on the floor, it gets all over the place. So I'm probably going to push this thing outside. But I did a little spot here. This is 180 grit, and as you can see, it erases the guide coat. So we'll just do a little shot right here. Should be using a longer block for this, but kind of hard to do and hold the camera at the same time. So as you can see, where some of the texture is left needs more sanding versus that's already in 180 grit. See the 180 grit scratches? So that's what guide coat does. It tells you what's been sanded and what hasn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the phone off and put the radio on and knock out this quarter panel and bring y'all back here in an hour or so, however long it takes. All right, so 2 hours later, I got this quarter panel blocked in 180, everything except down here. This was done in 80. It has some stuff going on down there, so that's gonna need some work. But the top knocked down pretty good. All the guide coat came off. Did get to some bare metal. There's a high spot, but it's feathered out pretty good. So the center panel came out pretty good. There was something funky going on here, but that leveled out okay. Like I say, down there is kind of funky. This panel right here is pretty good, and the rocker needs just maybe one skim coat. Overall, it's pretty straight. So I'm gonna leave this side alone. I got the other side guide coated for tomorrow. I'm gonna do that, and then smear some filler. I ordered some Rage, Evercoat Rage body filler, and I'm gonna smear that, and then probably go ahead and Evercoat this quarter, both quarters, I'd imagine, one more time. So I remember when I posted the video when I first got this car, somebody asked me if the body work was already done, and when it's in epoxy, it looks good, but man, the guide coat and the long block by hand is going to tell you the truth about what your car is. So no, the body work wasn't done. Still needs. I'm going to have to block this thing at least 3 times. But like I say, the guide coat will tell you everything. Long block, you want to use the longest block possible. I use the long block on pretty much everything except this section right here. And then a round block for this area right here, a round block for under here and here, all the way down. So I know it's not much to show right now other than some body work, but it's progress. So hope you guys enjoyed the little tutorial on guide coat. Like I say, don't waste your time buying the sandpaper at AutoZone. Just order it online. Way cheaper. Guide costs like $30 for that container. And I did the whole 64. I think we did some of the Red Rocket, and then should have enough to do this car. I'm not positive though, but so next couple weeks going to be a bunch of body work and not really a whole lot to show, but I will make some videos. So you guys stay tuned, and thanks for watching.